Okay, I guess we are live. And let's see here. Yep. And let's see here. Okay, I can hear myself. And let's see if anybody comes in. We are now broadcasting using the GoPro Hero 12 Black. It's that easy. It's just basically a couple settings on your GoPro. And this definitely is weird. Not used to this. Okay, so let's just go here. And now I can actually see what it looks like. Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Ken. Thank you so much for coming in. Okay, guys. I'm trying to do something different by using the GoPro as the streaming platform, I guess, or the camera. Hey, baby girl. Hey, Tony. And what we've got for basically the entertainment purposes is I've got the DJI Ronin Mini 3. And what this is a gimbal for your camera. And I've got a Sony ZV-E10. Now this case I got on Amazon, and if you're interested I can share the link for this in the description later. But it holds all of your pieces for your Ronin very, very well. And I've been trying to use this. I am not a professional whatsoever. And doing the setup part of this is probably the hardest part. So I figured what I can do is I can use the GoPro as my platform here to show you how easy it is to live stream from your GoPro, and we can actually put this together and try and balance it without taking 3 to 4 hours. Now, again, I am not a professional at doing this. In fact, I'm sure Dan, the droning veteran, is probably a lot better at it than I am. But here's the camera, and it comes with this base piece that you put under the camera. Now, you know the front part is right here because this little pad goes underneath the lens of your camera. So we're going to set that underneath there. And we're going to screw this in tight. And what I like to do is I like to start screwing it in. And now that it's in there, now I like to make sure I have it where I want it. And now that's tightened down, and then I fold it over. So you can see right there, I believe, that is how it should look against your lens. And you want to make sure that that's tight because you don't want this wiggling around when it is in here. So that is the easiest part of this entire operation. Now, this is the part that it really gets tricky, okay? So in order to put it in the case, you have to basically fold it up. And instead of doing it like that, I should have the base on. So let's screw in the base, because this is also the easiest part. Now I do have my laptop in the way. I've got a lot of things in the way here. Let's move some things around here. Okay, so basically to put it away, you have to detach everything, and that is kind of a pain in the butt. But this is where the actual camera sits on. And if I remember correctly, now don't get me wrong, this is going to be, well, a train wreck. That's what this is going to be. This is going to be a train wreck because I don't always remember exactly how this all went when I put it away. Oh, yeah. Now I know. All right. We're good, guys. We're good. The train wreck is real, but we're good. Okay. So the first thing that we have to do is we need to put this arm on. Okay. And this arm slides into here, like super easy, right? Okay, now we've got that arm on. Now we can take this piece and we can slide this arm, if it's unlocked, we can slide this arm onto the gimbal itself. So, and there's actually on here, there's a little white arrow, and then there's another white arrow there, which will help you in order to determine how that goes on. So that's actually really nice. I never even noticed that. And then on this arm, I bet you there is another arrow. Let's see if I'm just not knowing. Yeah, I don't see anything on there that would establish how that would go, but I'm pretty certain now that I've got that locked into place the way that it should be. Okay? So we've got that. Now, the one thing that you have to do is you got to put your camera on here. Now, this needs to be fully locked. And then this, what I like to do, because this locks into place. Now you can't, there's a quick release button right here on the side so that you can pull the camera out. Without pushing that button, it's not going to come out of there. But you can move it front to back. And what I like to do is I like to try and look from on top and try and get it as centered as possible. And then there's one right here that you can pull, or that you can push, and that will also lock that into place. Hey Barack, thank you for coming in. Hey Mrs. Polnowski, thank you for coming in. Let's see here. Uper Road, thank you so much for coming in. And Haley, thank you so much for watching the chat for me. I appreciate it. All right, so now the other thing that you have to do once you get this, I mean, you're not even close to being done yet, is you have to balance the gimbal on all three axes. Now, in order to do that, the first one that you have to do, and don't think that I'm, you know, smart or anything like that. I had to watch a ton of YouTube videos on how to do this, okay? So this isn't something that I just suddenly knew exactly what I was doing. But, okay, so you want this camera, when it's facing up, not to do that. You want it to be able to stay up there. So what you have to do is you have to lock it, and they also suggest that you have the camera on because that lens is going to always be moving back and forth. So I've got the camera turned on, and I would make sure that you have fully charged batteries. And when you slide it, you want to slide it kind of pushing up so that it takes the weight off the arm. And then after you slide it, unlock it and see where you're at. Okay. obviously that is not going to be good. So there's two different ways that you can balance this. You can balance it back to back, and you can balance it up and down. So we're going to try and balance it also on the up and down. So we're going to move that up a little bit. Okay. So we're still too far forward on there. So we want to back this up. Hey, morning coffee with mom. Thank you so much for coming in. Okay. Still not at the right spot. Now, like I said, this is kind of arduous. This is not something that you're going to get right off the bat. And it does take a lot of testing to kind of know where you got to have it. All right, so we're right there. Right there is where you're going to want to have it. Now, if I was smart, I would actually write down, because on this gimbal, you can actually see that there are little lines, and you can actually write those lines down, and that's going to change depending on where you have your camera, or if you have a different kind of lens. Also, if you have any attachments, like the DJI microphone, you know, it's light, but it's still an attachment that you have to take into consideration. So I can move, and I mean that will be appropriate for what we're trying to do. So that axis is, so now look at this, like way, okay? So we have to slide this and make sure that you lock this one in place, because you only want to have to do one of these axes at a time. All right? So we're going to slide this over. Okay, now we're too heavy on that side. Okay? But now, right here, we're going to lock that. Now, I can't stay. So we're good on that axle. Hey, Modog, thanks so much for coming in. This is the Ronin Mini 3 from DJI. It's a gimbal for cameras and for DSLR cameras. Then what you want to do is on one side or the other. I want to have it a little bit more balanced, so I'm going to slide this just a, oh, that's way too much. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I moved it too much. So we're going to come back. Now we've got going in the wrong direction. So all right, so now I'm putting it off to the side, and this thing is not moving. Put it to the side, is not moving. So now we should have all of our axes lined up. So we're going to unlock all of them. That is unlocked, that is unlocked, and that is unlocked. So now when I'm holding this in my hand, I can make it do all sorts of funky things. and it's really not going to do much. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to turn on the unit, and always make sure when you turn on the unit that all on this thing, okay? Now on here, I'm just going to show you. On here, right up here in the upper left-hand corner, there's a calibration button. So we're going to hit that, and then we're going to hit start calibration. Now the Ronin is actually going to go through its entire setup thing where it is calibrating itself. Okay. Now it says gimbal calibration complete. All right. Now there's one other thing that we can do, but let's just go through the settings here. You can do a horizon calibration if you want. That's just going to make sure that your horizon on your camera is going to be perfect. And you want to make sure that you're doing this on a flat surface, okay? And the horizon calibration isn't something that I normally do, but I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. Hey, Modog. I don't think that I do have one of your decals, so I would definitely appreciate that, my friend. Okay, so you have your firmware version. Now, if there was a firmware update or whatever, it would show up on the app on your phone. Now, the cool thing is on the app on your phone, and I'm going to grab that now if I can set this back up. There's a way to test your stability of your gimbal using the app on your phone. All right, so hopefully we're still connected. But I want to go into the DJI Ronin app. The first thing that you have to do is you need to connect to your gimbal, which I just done. Okay, now right here, there's a thing that says a balance test. You click that, and it shows you exactly how it wants you to hold the gimbal while you're trying to do the balance test, okay? So I'm going to hold the gimbal how it wants it held, which is at a 31-degree angle. Oh, I'm sorry. It actually tells you what angle that you need to be at. So it's greater than 15% or 15 degrees. And right now I'm at 30. So it is going to go and do its test. And then it's going to tell me whether or not this is good. All right. So apparently I learned something in school, because if you look here, it says that everything is balanced excellent. Okay? So now, there's another cool thing that you can do with this. You can actually use this to create different things. You can use this you can use your phone, and I mean this is kind of cool. You can use your phone as a joystick. I can make it go side to side, up and down. I'm just using the phone as a joystick to control the gimbal. Okay? You can also do the zoom and stuff, but you're not going to see much of that. You can change the tilt. And depending on how far or to the right and how far to the left you actually move the button, depends on how fast it will tilt. So that's kind of a nice little feature. And you can actually change the speed and the smoothness through the settings here on your phone. The other thing that you can do is called Force Mobile, okay? It's right up there at the top of your screen. It's called Force Mobile. And what this is going to do, guys, and I think this is the coolest feature out of the entire gimbal, is now I'm going to hit it recenter. And then I'm going to enable Force Mobile. Now it's on. Are you not going to work? Are you trying to be difficult? Okay, we'll come back to that. So with track, you actually can make waypoints. And this is how I do like my videos where I was able to, let's see, push mode disable. Okay. Push mode enable. Okay. So now we got the joystick. We can set up waypoints. We want that to be waypoint number 1. Add that. Go to waypoint number 2. Add that. Go to waypoint number 3. Add that. Okay. And then once you have all your waypoints, let's say you want to do something to where it was filming an entire room, you can actually hit the recenter button, so it's recentered again, hit the preview, and now it will show you exactly what it's going to do. And you can actually go in and you can adjust the movement duration and the speed of each movement. So that's actually a handy little tool. It's really good for doing hyperlapses, stuff like that. Now, I really want to get, okay, the Force Mobile is not doing what I want it to do, and I don't know why, but this is very disturbing. Okay, so let's go back. You can also use this as a gaming controller, time lapse, and a whole bunch of other things. So I'm going to work on getting, in fact, let's get out of the app and let's go back into it because I really want to show you this. And maybe I just need to get out of the settings. Go to Create, go to Force Mobile, enable Force Mobile, and let's go back to the track, push mode disabled. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset this. And if this isn't going to work, guys, I'm sorry. It'll probably work as soon as I get off of the live stream. But this is just such a fun, okay, it says connect device, connect to gimbal. Okay, we are connected. Force Mobile, enable. Okay. Ah, that's why. Here we go. I've got it figured out, guys. Okay, so I have to basically adjust the speeds because they were all down to 0. You have to be smarter than the device. All right, so now the way that I move my phone is the way that the gimbal is going to work. Okay, hit recenter. Oh, saving settings failed. Recenter. All right. So there's something going on with the Force Mobile. And I don't know what it would be. Let's try leaving the app now that we know what the problem is. And okay, there is a firmware update, guys. So if you do have the Ronin Mini 3, we're going to learn together on how to do this, okay? So we're going to hit update. So we're going to be updating to 1.02.00.00. What's new? Fixed issues. Some cameras could not connect to Bluetooth and optimized gimbal stabilization performance. We're going to hit update now. And as of right now, it is actually going through and doing the update. Now, hopefully the update's not going to take too long because I'm not going to be here all day. Steve, yeah, this is actually a really cool tool if you've got a mirrorless camera. Now, again, I am no expert, so don't think that I know everything about this, because I don't. The biggest learning curve that you're going to have, that I'm having, is learning how to walk and move around with it, because using a gimbal, you basically have to learn how to walk and to operate it. Otherwise, this controls the side to side and you know, the shakiness of you moving it around, but it doesn't control the up and down. This isn't a four-axis gimbal. It's only a 3-axis. So it's going to be something that you're going to have to learn how to walk when you're taking shots. Hey, baby girl, the camera type is the Sony ZV-E10. Let's see here. Mrs. Polnowski said, having some problems with the video. They're putting up new lines in the neighborhood, so I may have to go. Oh, even the firmware update failed. Okay. Go closer to gimbal or retry later if the issue persists. All right. I don't know how much closer to the gimbal I can get. But it said that I needed to get closer to the gimbal in order for it to work. That could be the entire problem why it wasn't working, guys, because it does need a firmware update. Now, if this doesn't work, then I'll definitely go online after I get done with the live stream, and I will go and do the firmware update and see how it works. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to show you the Force Mobile. But basically, what you're able to do is you can set up the speeds and the smoothness in the app, and then once you have the speed and the smoothness down, then you can just basically move your phone around and the gimbal will do whatever your phone does. And I thought that was like the coolest thing that I've ever seen. I don't know if it's just like a cool party trick or something, or what kind of application I could use that for, especially when I use my hands quite a bit when I'm talking. So, you know, you just never know how that else going to work. And Mrs. Polonowski, it wasn't really your problems. It was actually the problems with our internet. Let's see here. And Modog said that he had a dumb question. What was the question? I completely missed it. Will that gimbal work on like a pole, or is it just handheld? Yeah, that's just a handheld gimbal, trust me. All right, so the firmware update failed. We're going to exit that. We're going to shut off the gimbal. And unfortunately, let's see here. Oh, no problem, Ken. All right, guys. I do not think that... yeah, now I can't even do anything because I have to get this to actually communicate with the gimbal and do that update, because once you started the update, this wants to continue doing the update. So I just went out of the app. Again, it says right on the top that it needs an update. I turned off the gimbal and turned it back on again. And it still says updating firmware, view progress in DJI Ronin app. I hit update. I hit update now. And this did beep when I moved it, so I'm not really sure what that was all about. Okay, guys? But, I mean, this is frustrating. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch as I'm trying to figure out how to update this gimbal. But I will definitely do an update as far as whether I got it to work or not on my community tab. Okay, morning coffee with mom. I appreciate that, because I wasn't really sure. Haley said that it was our internet, and I am pretty sure that's what it was. Want to be outdoors. If I didn't say hi to you, I'm sorry. I'm glad that you're here. But it was our internet, so I apologize for that. Haley works from home, so I shouldn't be taking her internet anyway, because it's hard to keep this. It's hard enough to keep her computers running, and then to add my live stream on top of it is just not going to be very helpful for her. But again, I'm still having an issue. It's supposed to, or it says update failed, move closer to gimbal, or retry later. If the issue persists, contact DJI support. So that's not working, and there's nothing that, let's see here. Yeah, I can't get the trigger to work. I can't get anything to work. So we're going to just shut that off. We're going to give it a few seconds. You know what they tell you to do when anything is going wrong? You just power it off and then power it back on again. So that's what we're going to try and do. Now the screen is completely black. Ken, no, I'm not retired. It's just my regular home time. I'll be leaving for work on Thursday. I wish I was retired. All right, we're reconnecting to the gimbal. And it is not getting off this updating firmware thing. So we're going to hit update. There was one screen that showed up really quickly that showed that it was at 100%. I'm guessing that was like the download portion of it. And right now this is like the updating portion of it. And so I'm going to have to actually go on to DJI's website and find out why this isn't working, because this is just absolutely ridiculous. Most of DJI's updates work really, really well. And they either go, let's take that back. DJI updates go one of two ways. They either work perfectly or they're just awful, and you have to do a bunch of research and figure out how to get it to work. And this is the first update that I know of for the Ronin Mini 3. So if you're out there and you have this gimbal and you run into this kind of problem, definitely let me know, because this is a whole new thing for me. Usually with the DJI drones, you just connect it to controller, which is basically the same thing here. The phone, it would be the controller on a DJI drone. And then you download it and it all uploads to the drone, and everybody is happy and everything in life is good. Okay. Now it says firmware update complete. Okay then. And it shows right here that the update is gone. Don't ask me, guys. So we're going to try this Force Mobile again. So we're going to turn on the speed, the tilt, the roll, the pan, okay? And we're going to turn up the smoothness. All right. Now we have all of that done. We're going to hit enable Force Mobile. Now check that out, guys. Any way that I make the phone move is exactly how the phone is going to work. Now, I'm assuming that it needs to be calibrated again, because the phone shouldn't shake like that. But check that out. Now, like I said, I don't know if this is kind of a gimmicky thing, because I don't really know how I would use it. And we're going to turn it off. But it's definitely a cool party trick. Hey, Mr. Plonowski, thanks for being here. Glad to see you. Okay. So now that we're out of there, if you ever need to recenter, there's a trigger on the front of the gimbal. Click it twice and it recenters your gimbal. You also have a joystick here. You can move it side to side, up and down. And if nothing else, you can recenter it again. So we're going to calibrate it again, because it seems like it needs a calibration. It's acting like it needs a calibration. Okay, the gimbal is calibrated again. Now, on the front of here, like I said, is a trigger. It's right here. And then you have a roller right here. This roller is programmable for whatever you want it to do. And what I have it set up for is the zoom. So probably be easier just to show you the front of the lens. So when I move it, it'll zoom in. It'll zoom out. Okay. Now, if you're going to use this like I plan on doing for my video vlogs, is you can actually take and click on the trigger 3 times. And now that it's been triggered those 3 times, now you're actually in an... this is acting very, very strange since that update. So I'm going to have to play with that a little bit. But now you can use this as your own personal video vlog. Okay. So now I can be going down the road and I could be talking into the camera while I'm, you know, walking around trying to show people things. So you've got that. The other thing is you have an option that you can lock the gimbal in place, because as of right now, as you can see, this thing will move around. If I press and hold the trigger button, now that gimbal is locked in place back there. No matter where I move it, it's locked in that one place in the horizon that I put it. And now that I've got it unlocked, it'll move around wherever. But I lock it in place, that's not going anywhere. Okay? Now there's also a setting that you can do, and there's some people that like to do this this look when they're filming, where you can actually make the camera do like a 3D roll. You can lock it into place so that you can do that, and now you can do your 3D roll with the camera. So there are some things that really make this handy, especially for a beginner. Now there's a whole bunch of follow modes, and I would lie to you and try and tell you that I know how to use all of them, but I don't. It's been explained to me, and I've tried to use them, and I'm not necessarily getting all of the information that they're giving me. Excuse me. I'm getting over a cold, guys. So I apologize for the coughing and for the scratchy voice and everything. In fact, I've got the coffee right here. Does anybody have any questions about this gimbal? Because from the videos that I've shot, you can actually go onto my YouTube channel and you can watch. I did a time-lapse video of the sunset down there in Ocean City, just outside of San Diego. Basically did the time-lapse just leaving the gimbal up on the cliff, or not on the cliff, but on a shelf there. And then I just did a time-lapse using the follow mode. And then the other thing that I did was I just walked around and did some shooting around the area. So you can actually see an example of what this gimbal did when I was out down there near San Diego. What else with this? If you shut it off, definitely make sure when you shut it off that it's unlocked still. And then once it's shut off, then you can lock all of your axes back into place. And like I said, this case that I got for this gimbal does not come with it. It does come through Amazon, and I will put the link in the description of the video below, because taking this around like this, obviously without the camera in it, but just like this by itself is kind of bulky, kind of cumbersome. So having a solution like this is extremely helpful. And so I use it all the time when I'm going out on the road. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask now. And take a sip of my coffee. But using the DJI 2 mics, I absolutely love those. Tonight we're going to have a premiere on the channel at 7 o'clock Central Time. Basically a half hour after Ted from Off the Hook Outdoors has his live stream from his channel. But using the GoPro Hero 12 to do a live stream is super easy. The one thing that I would say as somebody that is just learning how to use it through a GoPro is I'd like to be able to have my own thumbnails. It doesn't give you an option to do that. pretty much the only thing that it does is allow you to get right onto YouTube. And then when you're going live, as you can see, it shows you the stream health. It also gives you the link on how you can watch your stream, and it gives you a link that you can copy to send to other people. And then I'm assuming down here on the bottom is where you press to stop the live stream. It doesn't give you like a screen that you can see through the app itself on how your stream is doing, other than the stream health there. Excuse me again. And sorry guys, I'm not going to torture you. I'm not going to torture you much longer. I know my voice is probably killing your ears. But you can actually go on, press the link, and then you'll just go to your YouTube video that is streaming. And then I'm assuming you just come back to this when you want to end your stream, and then that'll be done. But this is the GoPro Hero 12. I'm sure that it works the same way as the GoPro Hero 10 and 11. I believe Ted did a video on how to go live on your GoPro 8, and that's kind of how I learned how to do this. So it's all pretty much the same thing. You just have to have the Quick app from GoPro and connect your GoPro to the Quick app, and then go into the settings, and it will get you live on YouTube. And thank you for sending that link out. There's, in fact, if you go to the premiere tonight, before the premiere starts, I actually linked the video that I did using the gimbal as the trailer for that video. So definitely check that out, because I think that, I mean, for my first shot of doing a video like that with a gimbal, I think I did okay. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. I have a lot more practicing to do with this. Using a gimbal takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of learning how to move yourself so that you're not moving up and down with the gimbal. Plus, this thing is heavy. This is not something that is light, okay? You've got the weight of the camera, and then you've got the weight of the gimbal on top of it. And this is all metal. There's no plastic here. The only thing plastic is this tripod end on the bottom. That's it. And I apologize for kind of jumping around, guys. I do, but I'm just trying to make sure that I get all the information out there. And it doesn't look like we have any questions in the chat about this. So I'm going to probably just, yeah, my voice is going on me, guys. So I appreciate all of you that were in here. East Coast Thrills, I appreciate you coming in. Morning Coffee with Mom, I appreciate you coming in. Mr. and Mrs. Polanowski, Baby Girl. And let's see here. Who else is in here? Well, it looks right now it's pretty much it. But I appreciate all of you for being here. And if you have any questions on how to go ahead and use your GoPro as your way to stream onto YouTube, you can send me a question. If you want to learn anything about the gimbal that I know, like I said, I don't know everything, you can send me a question or leave a comment. And if you want, you can go to my spread shop and order any of our merch that we have. We've got JJ Drones merch, we've got Welcome to the Trainwreck merchandise, and we've got Blinker Fluid of the Week merchandise. It's all 20% off until Thursday. So you've only got today and tomorrow, and then after that, the 20% off sale is gone. And it's just to say thank you for all the support that I've gotten over the past few weeks, because we've got a lot of really good views on all our videos here. So I appreciate all of you for coming in, and I appreciate you